Hey guys, welcome. Come on in. Come on in to Thanks Form, where you already know we give you a cup of positivity and a side of possibilities and always a breakthrough. So come on in for yours. Grab your pen and pad, paper, iPad, whatever it is that you use to take notes on tonight. We are going to get into this habits, which is the second letter in the acronyms in Thanks Formed. So the T, which was yesterday, which was the thoughts, was what we were in. And now today, hi Celicia, we're talking about habits. And it's amazing how your thoughts about habits really affects the habits that we have. So come on in and get ready for this lesson. This is going to be awesome. I love working with habits, and having a better relationship with habits has really given me the opportunity to create new beautiful habits that actually serve me. So what I really want to get into about habits is there's a lot of things, like I was even looking online, and everything is how to make habits, habits of highly effective people, and all these kind of breaking down. Even the book that I highly recommend, this book is called Atomic Habits, one of the greatest books I've read on habits. Even in this book, it breaks down so much about habits. It breaks down about how habits shape your identity and the cues of habits. But what I want to discuss tonight is really a little bit deeper than that. And I noticed that we are always stuck in the how to. How do I do this? Just tell me how to do it. What do I need to do? Right? We just want this like quick fix because we think that there's something wrong with us and that we have to fix something. That right there is the mindset that is going to always block and get in your way of, well, mostly everything. But in today's lesson, we're talking about habits and habits. And I want to consider this. Instead of thinking about the how to, everybody wants to know how. How can I make a habit? And I want to look at two words. I want to look at the word habit right now, right? And the word habit, what it says, and this is where people get it twisted. They want to know how long it takes. Everybody always wants to know how long it takes to form a new habit so that they don't have to do it anymore. So that it becomes a habit like, tying your shoes. So if it's the first time, I'm sorry, if you're watching us, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you're back and you find value of this, please do comment, #value, share it with someone, tag someone, whoever you think that will have value of this too. Don't be stingy. But what I want to talk about is the habit. Is the definition of a habit. It says a recurrent, often unconscious, I want you to get that, unconscious pattern of behavior that is acquired through frequent repetition. Just listen to that. It's a recurrent, often unconscious pattern of behavior that is acquired through frequent repetition. You need to catch that. So, in reality, there is no habit that you're going to do for 90 days, 3 months, 180 days, whatever it says, and that you stop doing it and you're going to continue to do it by default. So for example, we learn how to tie our shoes. We have never stopped tying our shoes. So therefore it comes to us naturally and we do it unconsciously, like second nature. But here's the key. We never stop tying our shoes. So the thing is with habits is to understand what a habit is, and then I want to flip the script, and instead of talking about how to, right, let's talk about the why. That's so important. First of all, why? Why do I deserve to have good habits that serve me? That's the language, first of all, that we, instead of saying, oh, I have to change this habit, or I have a bad habit. Because when we think of something as a habit, I don't know how many of you, but put a 1 in the chat. If any of you, when you hear the word habit, you automatically go to bad habits. Automatically. Like your head just goes to what's wrong with you, what bad habit you have that you have to change or fix, and you have to. Like you use that word, bad, and you use the word I have to. So I want to invite you And that's why I recommend that book, Atomic Habits. I want to invite you to, first of all, your language and how you speak. So instead of saying, I have to, no, I deserve, I get to, I'm excited to this new habit that it's going to serve me, versus I have this bad habit that I feel like a bad person and I have to stop it. It's not going to work for you. Now, if we look at the habits as they're not bad and they're not good, they're just habits. Now, what we can look at is the habit serving me for who it is that I am growing into, I'm becoming, or I want to be? Now, if that habit doesn't serve us, then we deserve not to have that habit be part of us anymore. So the mindset of how we think about habits, right? But I want you to look at this. Why? Not how, but why. Why should we have healthy habits? Why should we have habits that serve us? Well, first of all, habits, they decide your destiny. And you cannot chase purpose and identity at the same time. See, because if you don't know who you are, then how is it that you are going to be able to align in your purpose? It doesn't work that way. You can't do it. First, you identify who you are. And after you identify who you are and who are you committed in becoming, then you can go and chase the purpose and get the habits to serve you to become that. Am I making sense? If I'm making sense, put a 1 in the chat, because I really want to bring this home for you all. And the next thing is, fill your mind correctly with the habits. I want to be able to give you, I'm going to gift you guys. If you stay on to the end and you got value and you hashtag shared that you shared this, I want to be inbox me and I want to send you, if you inbox me your email, I'll send you this habit formation worksheet I have. It's amazing. One thing about habits or anything, we were talking about this morning in one of my morning calls, where everything cannot stay up here. And a lot of times, things that stay up here in our mind, it's all fair game, because it's so much clutter and it's so much in here that it's across the board, there's no priority. Right? But when we write things down and we identify, see, that's what it is. That's what being a transformational coach, that's what I love about what I do, is we identify. I help you discover. There are questions, there are things that we can discover about ourselves. Excuse me, hold on. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Because I don't know if I have my Bluetooth in the right way. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the audio? Okay. Perfect. There we go. All right. So with habits, right? I have that formation worksheet that I would love to get to you. And in that worksheet, we help identify the habits, and we learn how to make the habit, how to form it, how to get it into formation, right? You want to form a habit. You don't want to have, I have to. It even sounds harsh, right? No, I get to, I deserve to. This is going to work for me. This is going to be a good payoff for me, right? And that is the thing with the habits is, when you fill your mind with the correct information, right? And after you fill your mind with the correct information, you're able to, give yourself a good book, read, be able to listen to something motivational, those kind of habits, your meditation, spending time. But it's about the writing, taking it out of here and actually writing it down. Because in here, your mind some of us are in this vicious circle. And we have this circle where a thought comes in our head about something that we want to change or fix, about a habit that we want to create, and we start beating ourselves up. It goes a little something like this. I don't know about you, but it used to do this for me. It would come in my brain like, I have to get up early. So then I don't get up as early as I wanted to. So then my mind says, oh, you have a bad habit of not getting up early. oh, you have to make a better effort, and then start beating myself up about that habit. Then it goes into another lane and it starts talking about another habit that I want to change or that I think I should be doing better. And it just keeps on going. It's like a circle. And it's a loop. It's like on repeat, like that song on repeat on the playlist, and it's in your head. But with the worksheet that I want to be able to gift y'all, it's so amazing because it actually breaks it down in 3 steps. It breaks it down in 3 steps. And the first thing is not how to, right? It's not how to create new habits. It's not how to, it's why. Why should I serve myself notice on these habits that are no longer serving me? And how we do that is by getting everything out of our head and writing it down on a piece of paper where we can actually see it. We can actually see it. And then when we look at it, it's not about you're a bad person. No, it's about, okay, there's no wrong and there's no right. There's no good and there's no bad habit. What's missing, that if we had it, it would make a difference. And then when we find what's missing, I mean, if you ever found something that was missing, can you see how excited you were when you found something that was missing? And you're like, oh my gosh, like if I'm making a stew, if I'm making some, baked macaroni and cheese, whatever it is I'm cooking, and I taste it and it's like not quite there yet, I don't yell at it like, you bad mac and cheese, I'm gonna throw you in the trash. No, I taste it and I'm like, is it missing this? Is it missing that? Okay, this is what it's missing. So let me put a little bit of this in it, and then I taste it again. Bingo, there it goes. It's ready to serve, right? So we can look at habits that way. We can look at habits as what is missing and what is it that we want to accomplish. So why, if I'm creating a habit, first of all, I want to identify my current habits, right? Not to say what's wrong with me, but just identify what's your current habits. And in the formation worksheet I want to send you guys, it's asking you to give 10 examples. And we have a positive and we have a negative, okay? We have identifying the habits, breaking down negative habits, and creating new positive habits, right? So we got to identify it first. If we don't identify it, then we don't know what we're working with, right? So we got to identify them first. And then when we identify, we ask ourselves the questions of, okay, these habits that are not serving me, that are negative, impacting me negatively, and then these habits that are impacting me positively, let's see how we can break, right? Break the negative habits. Break the negative habits by listening to our triggers and listening to the routine that we have and the reward that we give ourselves. Perfect example is I used to smoke cigarettes, right? And I kept on saying that I knew that smoking cigarettes did not match the healthy lifestyle that I wanted to start. So how is smoking cigarettes and being someone who's on a journey of weight loss and nutrition and exercise and being married to a trainer and training and losing to 120 pounds, that doesn't match, right? So I looked at the habit like, that's a negative habit. It doesn't match. It doesn't serve for who I want to be. So I dug deep and say, why? I said, why am I smoking? And I watched myself and I said, what triggers me to smoke? And what triggered me to smoke used to be when I would get in so-called anxiety, right? And it wasn't even anxiety. It was just that I would get excited, whatever it was. If it was a good excitement or an excitement that was worrying me or troubling me. And the fact of the matter is I was learning, I was growing, I was training and developing myself. So I was in a lot of stress. I was learning new things. So when I would learn them and I would conquer them, I would get excited. And then I would get nervous. I would go and smoke a cigarette. When something was frustrating me, when something was stressing me out that I couldn't get it, I would go smoke a cigarette. Also, I was procrastinating. We spoke about that yesterday. I was procrastinating, so I would use going to smoke a cigarette as, oh, right after I smoke the cigarette, I'll get back to it, right? So that was the whole thing, and I didn't even think about it. All I knew was I had a habit of smoking cigarettes. But why? and what triggered it. Once I found out and I identified my trigger, I identified my routine, and I identified the reward. I would actually reward myself with a cigarette. Oh, I did really good. That was a good session. Oh, wow, I broke through. Go smoke a cigarette. Yeah, that was my so-called reward to myself. You know what I found out was missing? You guys are going to be blown away by this. You're not going to even believe me. You know what I found out was missing? I found out what was missing was me breathing. It wasn't that I wanted to smoke. My coach helped me discover this. She said, Fran, what do you do when you're smoking? She was like, you're breathing, right? So she goes, you don't need to smoke. You need to breathe. What's missing was me breathing. I could not believe it. You know the times, so many times that I had tried to stop smoking, and I would cut down to like 3 cigarettes a day. But I had those 3 cigarettes. Like I would stretch them out. And what was missing was me taking the time to breathe in and breathe out. And I learned the exercise and the meditation process of breathing and then spiritually calming myself down and connecting with the Creator and speaking to the Creator in the moment that I was feeling anything that I was feeling that would cause me and trigger me to go smoke a cigarette. That habit, as soon as I discovered that for myself with the help of my coach, as soon as I discovered that for myself, it was like instant. I didn't pick up a cigarette. I haven't picked up a cigarette since then. It's just that simple that I know that what was missing was me breathing. So in the habits that you want to create is what kind of relationship do you want to have with these habits, and why do you want to create these habits? For instance, when I wanted to create the habit of my daily office, of spending time with God and checking in the morning with Him, why? Why did I want to do that? Well, I knew why I wanted to do it. I knew the benefits and what it was going to serve me for. So therefore, getting up at 5 in the morning, it wasn't a burden because I know what I was getting for. And I said to myself, well, if I used to work before in a factory with when my son was young, and I had to work in a factory to make sure I had a roof over our heads, I had to be in the factory at 5 in the morning, not get up at 5 in the morning. I had to actually be in the factory at 5 in the morning. And I got up to do that for $8 an hour because I had a son that I wanted to take care of. So how more important it is if anyone was to be waiting for me or tell me, let's meet up at 5 in the morning, I'm going to give you $1 million or whatever the case may be, I would go and I would be obedient and I would sacrifice. How much more important it is to get that impartation with God, to let Him tell me how and give me instructions for my day. And listen to Him and be able to not only in the daily office do I don't complain, I praise and worship, but also I let Him know what I'm feeling, right? So I can be able to take all of that away and write it down. I write it down and I say, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I'm scared. Whatever it is in that moment that I'm feeling, write it down and give it to Him, and then be able to be grateful for everything else. That, to me, is worth it, right? Then I had another habit of reading, different habits that I wanted to cultivate for myself. And I said, what is it about reading that's going to benefit me, that's going to serve me? Why do I want to read? Do I want to read just because I said I read 2 books a month and make myself smart? Or was I hungry? And then I learned to not read what other people were reading, but to read, even my Bible, reading it according to my appetite. And those habits are not habits that I do every day, just normal. No, it's an intentionality. I have to be intentional of saying, this is what I'm going to do. And because I am my word and I said I'm going to do it, and there's an expectance of me to do it. And I said, I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to do it. See, that's no longer a feeling, a consideration, an excuse. There's nothing going on over there because I'm living over here in my word of the new habit that I said serves me, and I'm going to go and do that. So how I do that and what helps me with my habits, I took the formation, so if you want that, just inbox me with your email and I'll send that to you. I took the formation worksheet and just reading it and reading what it was telling me. Like, for instance, in the activity, like, write out what are your triggers, right? Because not only thinking about it, but writing it down. You know, how can you avoid them? How can you, you know, not reward yourself with that kind of habit, or the new kind of habit that you're creating? How is that going to be rewarding? Well, it's going to be rewarding to me, you know, something simple like drinking a gallon of water a day. I started doing that, and now I used to say, I can't drink that much water. That's too much. Now by 12 o'clock, I drink half a gallon of water, and I'm like, oh, like it's nothing, but I'm intentional about it. If I'm not intentional about it, I'll look and say, wow, I'm hungry, or I have a headache, and it's because I haven't had water. And I look and I didn't fill my bottle. So I have this big bottle of water that I fill, and it's equivalent to half a gallon. So when I drink that with a straw, this is what I did. The straw helps me drink my water, because I just feel that drinking out of a cup, I can't. In my mind, I have a story that I can't do that. So what I did was I bought me a straw. I even do it with my iced tea. Like, you see this here? My mega tea, iced tea, right in here with the straw. It's just like anything. If not, I wouldn't drink anything. I would just stay all day dry, not drinking anything. I was intentional. I bought the bottle. I bought the straws. And now I drink my water. Easy peasy. But I still have to do it with intention every single day. If I'm not intentional about the habit and I don't remind myself what water does for my body, how it helps with my weight management, how it helps with my bowel movements, how it helps with my hair, my skin, my nails, those are things that serve me. Why wouldn't I want to drink water? I mean, are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? I just want to be clear. You know, and then one thing I do have is a habit tracker. It's my brand new habit tracker. I have it in paper, and I also have an app for it as well. I like it in paper because not only in paper I can see it, and I even have the times that I want to do the stuff that I say I want to do as a habit. Okay, I have it here so I can see it every day. And I also have it in my phone. But the reason why I stay away from my phone is a lot of times I created the habit that I saw that I was being distracted while I was working. So now the habit I have is for certain hours of the day that I'm working, that I want to focus on something, my phone is in the other room. My phone being in the other room allows me not to create the habit of checking my phone every 2 minutes. Or distracting me from what I want to do. When I am doing my social media work, that's different than just scrolling through social media, but actually working and doing my network marketing, I also put a timer, right, on what it is that I'm going to be working on in the social media. And I put the timer on. Why? Because I want to create the work habit of I'm only going to spend 2 hours doing this. So when the timer goes off, I stop. Because I would get into something, like even last night it almost happened to me, and I quit work at 9 o'clock. And I really was into, I was building my YouTube channel, right? And I'm going and I'm getting, and you will not know how long it takes to get a picture to get right in alignment when you're building a YouTube channel. So the background of the YouTube, I use Canva, and I was going back and forth. I had to save it back and forth. I would save it on Canva and then put it on the YouTube, and my head was chopped off, right? And just little things like that. I don't want to stop until I finish, until it's done, right? And I would spend hours on doing this one task, and then everything else I wouldn't do. Right, Linda? Linda says yes. I got you, Linda. Inbox me your email so I can send it to you. So that made me realize, the habit formation worksheet made me realize and allowed me to see. And then the habit tracker allows me, see, I have an old one here. This is an old one. It allows me also here to be able to put, when I color it in, that means I did that. Okay, nobody's perfect. I'm not trying to sit here and finna act like I'm perfect, like I'm, no. There are, like I told my son, because I'm teaching my son how to do this too. I told my son, it doesn't matter that there's 10, 11 things that I want to do and make it a habit here, right? You can have 5. You can have 3. It doesn't matter what you choose to work on. But when you put it down on paper and you color it, guess what? You get to see how productive, and the app does it for you as well. But like I said, I try to stay away from the app unless I do it at nighttime, like maybe an hour before I go to bed. I'll clock in the app, and I'll clock in everything that I got done for that day. But throughout the day, I have the habit tracker in front of me that I can see, and I also created the time slot of what I want to do. So when I shade it in, I can see, like, wait a minute, hold up. This is where it's gonna get good. I can see that maybe 5 out of the 10 things I'm doing, like kicking butt and taking names. Like I'm doing it every day. No, but then I see, yo, homegirl, it's been like 5 days since you worked out. Girl, right? So it's not about, oh, you're bad, you're miserable. No, we're not gonna do that to ourselves. It's just to have an awareness. And then when we have an awareness, what do we do with that awareness? Well, instead of sitting there beating yourself up, justifying, looking for an excuse, having a pity party, we are aware of it, and then we take action. And when we take action, guess what it does? It gets us back in momentum. And even if it's a 20-minute workout, I'm like, yo, I did that 20 minutes. I have an app. I download a program, and I say, you know what? I'm going to follow this for the next 3 days. So that gives me accountability for myself, because I have the app that's telling me, hey, this program is going to be for the next 3 days. And then I can actually hit the program, download it, do the exercise, and then hit done, and it rewards me. It shows me, and then it shows me a pattern where I can actually even take to my doctor and say, here, this is what I eat. You guys aren't going to believe me when I tell you this. When I started doing the habit tracker, I also started tracking my food intake with the S Health app that I keep telling you guys about. And because I did not want to put it in the app that I ate it, I wouldn't eat it. I would think twice about what I'm eating because I didn't want to put it in the tracker. It works because I have to be responsible for what I'm putting in my body, because now I'm putting it down on paper and it's showing what I'm doing, and I can see myself. I can see myself as what I'm doing. Like I have a spy camera around walking with me. That's what the tracker does. So I can get back on track. The tracker is not to make you feel bad or to monetize you or to make you, no. It's so you can see where is it in your life that you are out of balance so that you can get back on track. And we talk about that in the Thanks Formed, where we talk about all the acronyms, the thoughts, the habits, the action steps, the nourishment, the nutrition, the self-care, right? The knowledge, the understanding, and the spirituality. It all goes together. It's the 4 IQs. We talk about the spiritual intelligence. We talk about the emotional intelligence. We talk about the relational intelligence and the leadership intelligence. These 4 IQs are crucial in our life so that we can measure where are we out of balance at. Are we out of balance in our thoughts, right? What kind of conversations are we having with ourselves? That's a habit. Do you have the habit of telling yourself that you're stupid? Do you have the habit of telling yourself that you messed up? Or this habit, I had it all the time. I'm not good enough. I can't do that. Are we listening? Right? Are you thinking about what you're thinking about? Are you listening how you're talking to yourself? The self-talk. We think it's crazy to have affirmations to self-talk. Listen, it's crazy not to. Because all the negative thinking that's cluttered in our mind, if we don't take time to speak life into our own selves and to write it down, that's a habit right there. How about a habit of 3 gratefuls and 3 affirmations every single day? That's a beautiful habit. Why not? Or even get yourself a journal like this. My husband got me this beautiful journal. I love it. Right here. A woman's gratitude journal. And I like it because actually, let me look for a blank page. Actually, it has prompts. Okay? So like maybe you say, I don't know what I'm grateful for. Nothing wrong with that. That's okay. Maybe this will help you. And it says, you know, change can be hard at times, but it can also be good for us, even rewarding. What big change have you made that you are grateful for, and why? You may not even notice that you made a change, and you can say you're grateful for. I'm grateful I stopped smoking cigarettes. I'm grateful for that. My body is grateful for that. I'm grateful that I came to the realization that I just needed to learn how to breathe. Yeah. You're welcome, Linda. You got it. Absolutely. So what habits are you struggling with that you're looking at them as they're bad, or you're a bad person because you have them? Or, you know, you look at habits like you're afraid of them. I know I used to be so afraid of working out, so I don't say workout no more. I don't even have it. I have it on my phone as move my body. And I got me a hula hoop with a little weight on it. And when I'm sitting down for so many hours, sometimes I gotta spend hours on training on the computer. I'm talking about hours, maybe days, sometimes 3 days, seminars, right? I get up and I put the hula hoop around and I start hula hooping. And to me, I make it a game like, oh, can I do it 10 times? Can I do it 10 times? Okay, so I count it and I get it done 10 times and I'm like, oh wow, I did it. Because before I couldn't do it, right? Or I'm Spanish. So I'll put on merengue, like old school back in the days merengue. And my son gets annoyed because sometimes when he don't want to wake up, I'm like, oh, you don't want to wake up? Okay, I'll put on the merengue and I'll start, but I'm moving my body, right? And then I started looking at it like, it's not a workout. You know what? I'm getting stronger. I stopped thinking about it getting easier. My husband told me that time. Those of you who don't know, my husband's my trainer. I married my trainer. I don't know who told me that was a good idea. But my husband's my trainer. So my husband one time told me, I said, oh, it's getting easier. He said, no, honey, it's not getting easier. You're getting stronger. And that clicked for me like, wow, I'm getting stronger. Me. I used to not be able to do this. And now look at me doing it. When I first started working out, I used to cry because I couldn't do XYZ, right? I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't do a burpee. I had to modify. I had to use a chair for a lot of workouts, right? Then when I saw myself doing things, I was like, wow, that's me. I want you to know that the biggest thing that you can give yourself is yourself feeling proud of yourself, okay? When you feel proud of who you are and what you've accomplished, then you build this momentum like, yo, I got this. Yeah. And those habits, you're never going to want to give them up. They make you feel amazing. And that is who you are created to be. You are created to be an amazing, extraordinary person. You are created for greatness. You can do this. But we're so hard on ourselves because we talk about what we can't do and what we're not able to do. But it's just growth, training, and development. I live my life like that. I've already devoted to myself that I am a lifelong learner. In Daniel's den that I'm in, we call ourselves lifelong learners. We will never stop learning. There's always something to learn. There's always some place to grow. There's always some place to train and develop yourself. Don't lie to yourself and think that you have arrived, because that's arrogance and that's pride. You have never arrived, because once you arrive, you allow others to catch up to you. And our job is to continue to grow, train, and develop so that we can continue to feed others and we can continue to help others grow, train, and develop themselves. And that's what I have for you guys. So again, if you want the habit tracker and if you also want the habit worksheet, the formation worksheet, just inbox me your email address and I will definitely be able to send that to you. I would love that. And if you want feedback on that and you want to be able to go through that formation together, I can definitely do that with you as well. One-on-one coaching. I'll put my calendar as well so you can schedule that with me and we can definitely grow through that together. I would love to be able to help you with that. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. And I hope that this has been more than valuable to you and has opened up something that you've been able to discover for yourself. And that's what I want for you, to discover it for yourself and to go and take it on. Don't stay with this revelation like an aha moment and that's it. No. We're about transformation. I'm not here to give you more information. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to give you, more information about this and that. And no, it's a transformation. What I want for you is what you want for yourself. I want what's important to you and for you to break free and then be able to catapult yourself into your next level. So transformation is what it's about. So be able to, you catch the revelation, get the revolution for your evolution. That's what you deserve. You are worthy of elevating yourself. You have to immerse yourself beyond yourself in order to redefine yourself as who you know yourself as you are today. Who you are is just how you wound up being. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? There's nothing to fix. You're not broken. You're not... That's just how you wound up. It's a default. But you have the ability, you have the power, you have the ability because you are created by Christ in his image. You have the ability to be able to perform in your greatness. All you have to do is discover it. Once you discover it and you start growing and training yourself and developing yourself in this new formation, these new habit formations, you are going to be so proud of yourself. You are going to soar. You're going to be excited to the next level. And you will never, ever be bonded to that again. I want you to be unleashed. I want you to be forever altered in who you know yourself to be. You deserve that. And if I can assist you in that and support you in that journey, and you think that you're ready for that, and you really want to take that on, because sometimes people just, they like a good word. And it's okay. But what are you doing with it afterwards? If you really want to get a revolution in you and you really want to grow into your evolution, then I'm your tour guide. I'm the person for you. I would love to take that on with you and to see you discover it for yourself. There is something about when you discover it for yourself. Not someone, I'm not going to teach you, fix you, nothing. I'm just going to allow you to discover it for yourself. Once you discover what's your blockage, what's your blind spot, what's in your way, it can be something as simple as how I stopped smoking was I realized all I needed to do was breathe. Something so simple. Years of smoking, and I found out that all it was, I needed to learn how to breathe, and now I breathe, and I don't even crave, I don't even think about it. I just know that my breathing works. And I had to discover that for myself. And after I discovered it, I put it into motion, and I was able to move past it, and that's what I want for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if it's your first time, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. I would like to acknowledge you. If you want the formation worksheet, even if you catch me on the replay, #replay, send me your email in my inbox, and I'll send that formation worksheet and the habit tracker for you guys. I love you all. This has been fun. I hope it's been of value, and I have earned the privilege of your time. You have a great evening. Good night.